Hey everybody, welcome to Signing with Lampra. L-A-M-P-R-A. So you can see what it looks like to sign to another person in ASL and sign language. So are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, and welcome to Signing with Lampra. My name is Lampra, and I'm so glad for you to join me in sign language. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Lampra, and I started learning sign language when I was about 5 years old. I went to a Christian school in Tampa, Florida, and I saw a group of deaf people signing, and I was so intrigued by them using their hands and by signing that I told my teacher that I wanted to make my hands dance just like theirs. So ever since then, I've been teaching myself sign language, and then when I was 18 years old, I went to the University of South Florida, where I minored in American Sign Language, and I dove into the deaf community, and here I am. I'm an advocate for the deaf community in Tampa and in the Atlanta, Georgia. So I want to say thank you for taking the time and learning this beautiful language, and I hope that you take a lot from it. So let's get started. Hey, so we're back, and I'd just like to let you know there are 7 things that you need to know before starting sign language. The first thing is eye contact. Now you're probably thinking, what's the big deal about eye contact? In sign language, the sign language is a very visual language. You need eye contact. In order to conversate with a deaf person, they look at each other while talking. And this is how in sign language you can have multiple conversations with multiple different people and still be able to understand and communicate and not interfere with another person's conversation because everyone has good eye contact. Now I know in the hearing culture and in spoken language, eye contact really doesn't matter. But in deaf culture, if you do not have good eye contact with someone, they either think that you're daydreaming, you're not interested, or they would actually think you're a pretty rude individual. So make sure that you always have constant eye contact with anyone you're speaking to. The second one is your signing space. Now, what is signing space, you ask? Well, in sign language, your signing space is from the middle of your torso all the way up to here. And then this little box right here. You don't go outside of your signing space at all because then it makes it really uncomfortable and then most people cannot see or understand what you're signing. So just remember your signing space. The other one is, which hand do I use? Well, that's a really important question. Usually the hand that you use is your dominant hand. Your dominant hand usually means the hand that you are most comfortable with writing. So I'm right-handed, so during this whole entire segment, you'll see me sign with my right hand. But if you are left-handed, just copy whatever I'm doing. Now, if you are comfortable with your right and left hand, just pick which one you want to use, and you use that throughout the whole conversation. Now, you can't switch back and forth between your right hand and your left hand for signing, because then that confuses the signer. So just remember that if you're right-handed, you sign with your right hand. If you're left-handed, you sign with your left hand. If you're comfortable with both, you have to choose which one you want to sign with. Another thing that's important is facial expressions. So what's the big deal about facial expressions, you ask? Well, in sign language, once again, it's a very visual language, and facial expressions convey the meaning of what you're trying to say. For example, if I was to say that I'm happy in sign language, this is a sign for happy. Now, if I look like I'm sad, or I look like I'm angry and I'm signing away happy, a deaf individual do not understand that. They either think that I'm confused or that I'm being sarcastic. So if you are happy, you show you're happy by doing this. Smile, be excited. Your face expression shows a lot. For example, if you still don't understand in spoken language, if we are listening to a speaker that is monotone, doesn't have any variations in the voice, we will fall asleep, or we would just be completely bored. It's the same exact way with facial expressions and sign language. Another point is that precision. Precision is very important in sign language. So knowing where to do the location of sign is very important. Let me give you 3 examples. This is a sign for dry. Now, if I was trying to say dry material or something like that, I would sign right here. But this is a sign for ugly. And this is a sign for summer. You see how these 3 different signs are totally different from each other. So if you actually make a mistake and you were trying to say that you visit a dry desert, but you said that you visit an ugly area, that makes it kind of confusing to the signer when you were supposed to be meaning dry. So just remember that the location of the sign is very important. That's why precision is very important, and that's why it's on the list. Another thing that's on the list is that ASL is not English. A lot of people believe that ASL is just a form of just English, but you just sign it in English word order. That is completely false and completely wrong. Sign language has its own type of word order. And if you actually sign sign language in English word order, you're not actually doing American Sign Language. You're doing something called signing exact English, which is a different type of sign language. But we will go more into in later segments about the word order of sign language. And the last thing on our list is fingerspelling. Fingerspelling is very important in the deaf culture. With fingerspelling, they fingerspell their name, places, restaurants, food, you name it. So fingerspelling is very, very important. So with that, that leads us into learning our alphabet. So are you ready? Let's get started. This is the letter A. It kind of looks like an A if you kind of use your imagination. This is the letter B. This is C. It kind of looks like a C. This is a letter D. If you look at it, it kind of looks like the letter D. This is E. This is F. This is G. And this is H. Okay, so let's start from the beginning, okay? So this is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. This is the letter I, and the letter J is just you just draw in the air, just like that. J. This is K, and it kind of looks like a K if you kind of use your imagination. This is the letter L, and the way that I can help you remember this is that L, if you remember back in the 90s, everyone used to go like this for loser. That's actually pretty the sign for loser in sign language, so just remember this for the letter L. The letter M is you take your 3 fingers like this and you put it underneath your thumb. This is M. And you just kind of move it over like this. This is O. This is P. This is Q. This is R. So I just threw a lot at you. Just let's go from the top again. So this is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. This is the letter S, and I like to think of the letter S as like power to the people. So just think of that for S. T, this is the letter for T. This is U. This is V. This is W. X is like a little hook. This is Y. And this is Z. So let's do that all from the beginning, okay? You ready? All right, let's go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Very good. Good job. So a way of learning fingerspelling and learning your alphabet is that you have to practice a really good bit. And the way I suggest by practicing is that when you're at a stoplight and you're just looking around, start fingerspelling the license plates that you see. Or start fingerspelling the different cars that are out there. And if you see a sign, fingerspell the sign. And that will improve on your fingerspelling, and that will help you remember the ABCs because they're really important. Now, for something fun, I thought I'd teach you the ABC song. So you ready to learn that? It's really fun. Okay, let's get started. So the sign for now, you take the letter Y and you go like this. This is now, I, know, kind of like for knowledge, like you know, my, A, B, C's. Now you take both your hands like this, and whatever your dominant hand is, you place it out front. That means the word next. Now, since I'm right-handed, I'm taking my right hand and I'm placing it out in front of me. If I was left-handed, I would do like this. This is next, time. It's kind of like you have a watch and you're looking at the time. Time, won't. Take the letter X and hook it down like this, won't. You, this is sing, with. Now make sure you do with like this. Some people confuse with like this, but this means game. So this is one of the reasons why we talked about in the beginning about precision is pretty important in sign language. You want to make sure you go like this instead of going like this. So with me. Okay, let's do that again. Now I know my ABCs. Next time won't you sing with me? Okay, you ready to put that all together? Okay, ready? Let's start. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Here we go. Now I know my ABCs. Next time won't you sing with me? Very good. So good job, everybody. So now that we know our letters, now we need to know our numbers. So I'm going to teach you numbers from 1 to 20. They're very easy. The numbers from 1 to 10 are pretty simple. So let's get started. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. And you're probably wondering, well, why is this 3? Well, 3 kind of looks like the letter W. So this is why this is 3 in sign language. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You take your pinky to your thumb for 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you shake for 10. So let's do that again. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. You ready to move on to 11 to 20? Okay, let's get started. So 11 is you flick like this. This is 11. 12, you flick like this. This is 13. This is 14. This is 15. And the way I help people remember 15 is kind of like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, always said, like, bring it on. Well, just remember that. Bring it on is 15. Then 16 is 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And let me teach you 2 other variations that you can do 16 through 19. You can either flick your wrists like I do. I feel more comfortable with flicking my wrists. There's some that rub like this for 16, 17, 18, 19. And there's some people that go 10, 6, 10, 7, 10, 8, and 10, 9. You can use those 3 different ways, whatever way you feel comfortable with. Me, I feel more comfortable with flicking my wrist, and I find it more fun to flick my wrist like that. So let's go from 11 through 20. So this is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So let's put it all together for 1 to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. You got it? All right, good job. And with that, just like with the finger spelling, just keep practicing. I would just recommend when you're at a stoplight, just start signing the license plates because it has letters and numbers on it, and that will help you more to get those letters and numbers all in your head. So another thing that's pretty important in learning sign language and just communicating with anyone that's in the deaf community is you gotta know how to introduce yourself. You gotta know how to welcome somebody. So I'm just gonna teach you a little bit about some signs that you use for introductions. So this is the sign for introduce or introductions. Introduce. And so the first thing that you probably already know how to say is hi. Hi, or hi. Same thing in sign language. Or if you want to be formal, like you have someone that is your elder, you go, hello, kind of like a salute, almost like, but this is the formal way of hello. And you can say hi, hi. And then how to ask, how are you? You go, how are you? Now, if you meet a young person that's deaf or hard of hearing, you may see some of them sign, what's up? Or they may sign it with one hand, but usually they go like, what's up? I think it's really cute. What's up? So you have hi or hi, formal hello, you have what's up, and then you have for how are you cup your hands like this, you roll or bring it in, and then you point to whoever you're talking to. So let's try it. How are you? So there's different ways of saying how are you and different ways of responding. So most people, when they want to ask how are you, they do the what's up, or they do how are you like this. And the way that you can respond to how are you is you can say that I'm good. So you take your non-dominant hand and you place it down like this for good. And the opposite of good, if you turn your non-dominant hand and smack your non-dominant hand, this is bad. So this is good and this is bad. You also have fine. This is fine. And a lot of people that we usually say already in a spoken language is, I'm so-so. You know, you're not good, you're not bad, you're somewhere in the middle, so you're like, I'm so-so. A lot of guys I notice in the deaf culture like to say, nothing. This means nothing or nothing much. You take the letter O and you just shake it. Nothing, nothing much. So let's review. You have good, you have bad, you have so-so, you have nothing or nothing much. You can have that you're happy. This is happy. And once again, we got to show that we're happy by using our facial expression. If you take your middle finger and you move it in a circular motion, this means excited. And also you have tired. Now you got to act tired. So you just kind of collapse like that for tired. You have sleepy. And then a sign that I really don't see a lot, but same old, is the letter Y with circles like this. So let's review. You have good, you have bad, you have so-so, you have happy, you have excited, you have nothing much or nothing at all, you have tired, you have sleepy, you have same old, you have good, and you have bad. And I forgot to mention sad. So sad is kind of like you're crying. This is sad. Don't confuse sad with crying because this is a sign for crying and this is a sign for sad. So another introduction that you will see a lot of deaf people or hard of hearing or people like myself use is they say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So I'm going to teach you that. We already learned the sign for good, so this is good. And so what you're going to do is for mornings, you're going to take your dominant hand and raise it like this. And the way I remember this is because the sun rises in the morning. So this is good morning. And good afternoon is good afternoon because the sun kind of sets in the afternoon. And good evening or good night is good evening or night, the sun has disappeared. So let's do that again. So we have good morning, we have good afternoon, and we have good evening or good night. So another thing about introductions that you need to learn is how do I introduce myself? So I already know how to greet somebody, but I don't know how to introduce myself in sign language. Well, we're about to cover that. So usually if a deaf person or hard of hearing wants to know what your name is, they will usually sign you name what? or they can ask your name, and they can use like a puzzle kind of facial expression. So either way they sign it, they're asking what your name is. And the way you will reply is like, my name is, and then you will fingerspell your name. So for example, my name is Lampra. And then if I want to ask, just to be polite, what the other person that I'm asking for, what their name is, I would do the same sign again. I'm like, you name what? Or your name, and then I look a curious look on my face. And then they will fingerspell their name. Now, a lot of deaf people, when they get done fingerspelling their name, they will use a sign at the end of it, which I don't want to get that confused. That sign that they put at the end of them spelling their name is called a sign name. And a sign name is basically what you can understand as a nickname. So instead of keep fingerspelling your name over and over and over again, usually people that are involved in the deaf community that are deaf or hard of hearing, their friends, family members, give them a nickname that kind of describes their personality. So for example, my sign name is this. And the reason why this is my sign name, because one of my deaf friends in Tampa gave me this because they said I'm a nice person. Because this is a sign for nice, and so he replaced it with the letter L. And then some people have different sign names, like my son, his sign name is this for Solomon, because this is a sign for wise, and so my deaf friends replace it with the letter S. So it really just depends on the person's personality or a different trait that they have. So if you would like to get a sign name, the way you get a sign name is you got to dive into the deaf culture and you got to associate with deaf individuals in order to get a sign name, and only a deaf person or a hard of hearing person can give you a sign name. That's just a little tidbit of knowledge for you. So we already learned how to say my name is, and if you remember, that is my name is, and then you fingerspell your name. And then usually a deaf person will tell you, nice to meet you. So the way that you would sign that, or way you would see that sign, is you go, nice to meet you. Now you gotta remember that meet is like this, or meet is like this. And it's kind of like two people coming together and kiss. Or they're coming together to kiss like this. Now, you have to be careful not to angle the meat down here, because that's a different type of meat that you don't want to do. So make sure that the nice to meet you is like this, or nice to meet you is like this, and then you point to the person. So usually a deaf person would tell you after they get your name, they would like say, nice to meet you. And you can copy the same sign back, or you can do a sign that means like this. That means me too, same here, or I agree. Another thing that you need to learn is farewells. So the way you say farewell in sign language is usually what we do in unspoken language. Goodbye. Or you can say, see you later. So I'll repeat that again. It's go, see you later. Or you can tell a deaf person to take care. And the way you do that is you do the letter K and you just kind of hit right here. This means take care. So you once again, you have like goodbye or bye-bye, or you can say see you later, or you can say take care. My personal favorite is I like to tell people drive safely, because some people do not drive very safely, so I like to drive safe. So once again, that sign looks like this. Drive like you're driving a car with a steering wheel, safe. And then some people will respond by, same here, you too. And if you're going to see that person the next day, you can say, see you tomorrow. So you have see you later, see you tomorrow, you have take care, drive safely, and you just have the normal goodbye. So those are just your beginning of introduction with sign language. So we learn introductions, we learn farewells, we learn our ABCs, and we learn our numbers, and this is a sign for numbers. So I hope to see you next time, and always remember to keep signing and keep practicing your signing, and my favorite sign to say is happy signing. And I'll see you next time, okay? Bye-bye. Take care. For those of you that want to do sign language but have no one to sign language with, such as all your friends are hearing and you're probably thinking, well, Lampra, I don't know any deaf people or hard of hearing people. How am I supposed to practice? Well, I have a solution for you. There is a website that is called www.gotchi.org that you can go to, and you can go onto their calendar and find all the social events that the deaf community has, such as silent mall events and silent dinner events. Now you're probably wondering, what's a silent mall and what's a silent dinner, which are awesome questions. A silent mall and a silent dinner is basically a social event where massive amount of group of deaf people, as well hard of hearing, people like me that are advocates, interpreters, sign language students, interpreting students, anyone that is affiliated with the deaf community, go and we just socialize together. We practice our signing, we develop friendships. It's just a way for more deaf people to gather around and meet other deaf people and communicate. Because if you haven't noticed, there's not a lot of deaf individuals in the world, or even in this state, even alone. So there has to be a way that they can communicate with other deaf individuals so they can have some type of unity. And that's what a silent mall and a silent dinner is. The dinner is that you meet at a Pacific restaurant, and a silent mall is where you meet at a Pacific mall. That's one avenue. Also, you have epeachy.org. Awesome site just to get updates about what's going on in the deaf community as well. And something that's very important that you need to know, if you do go to one of these deaf events, whether it's a silent mall or a silent dinner, just let you know that your introductions may be a little bit longer than your average spoken language. And your farewells may be a little bit longer than your average spoken language. Deaf individuals are very intrigued about why hearing people are learning sign language, because it's not a language that a lot of people want to learn and want to just be a part of. So if you're there and they start asking questions about how did you learn sign language? Are you deaf? Are you hard of hearing? Are you hearing? Is someone in your family deaf and that's the reason why you're learning sign language? Who taught you sign language? Well, how long are you going to keep doing sign language? They're not trying to be noisy, but they're just trying to figure out why are you want to be a part of our community. And the farewells are long because you have to say goodbye to everybody. Even if you never talk to that individual, you have to say goodbye to everybody in the group that are there at the event. So just to let you know, and I hope you have fun at your event and don't get scared because deaf people do not bite you. All right, have fun. Bye-bye.